The moment you feel like giving up. That's the exact moment your life is about to change. Right now, someone out there is quitting, and someone else is pushing forward. And that difference, that one decision, is what separates failure from greatness. Because resilience isn't about never breaking. It's about breaking and still refusing to stay down. Life doesn't warn you before it hits. Sometimes it comes suddenly, a rejection, a loss, a setback, a moment where everything you believed in starts to fall apart. You look around and wonder, why me? You wonder why it feels like everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck fighting battles nobody can see. But let me tell you something real, something powerful. The strongest people are not the ones who had it easy. The strongest people are the ones who had every reason to stop, but kept going anyway. Resilience is not just a skill, it's a mindset. It's a choice. It's waking up when you don't feel strong, when motivation is gone, when the world feels heavy, and still showing up. Because persistence is what builds the life you dream about. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has faced pain. Every comeback story began with struggle. Nobody becomes great without going through something that tries to destroy them. And maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you feel like you've tried again and again, and nothing is working. But listen closely. The fact that you are still here means you still have a chance. Resilience means you don't let one bad chapter become your whole story. You don't let one failure define your future. You don't let one moment of weakness convince you that you are weak. Because you are not weak. You are human. And humans are built to rise. Let me tell you about a man named David. David was not born into wealth. He wasn't given opportunities. He wasn't surrounded by people cheering him on. In fact, most of his life, people doubted him. He grew up watching others succeed while he struggled just to survive. Every time he tried, life pushed back harder. He applied for jobs and got rejected. He started projects that failed. He made plans that collapsed. And slowly, that voice inside him started whispering, "What's the point?" One night after another disappointment, David sat alone in his car. Silence all around him, hands on the steering wheel. Eyes filled with frustration. He felt like a failure. He felt like quitting. But then he asked himself one question. What if I don't stop? What if I keep going even when I don't see results? What if persistence is the real secret? That night, David made a decision. Not a loud decision. Not a dramatic one. Just a quiet promise to himself. I will not give up. That's where resilience begins. Not when life gets easier, but when you decide you won't let life break you. David started waking up early. Not because he felt motivated, but because he was committed. He worked when nobody watched. He studied when nobody cared. He kept moving forward even when progress felt invisible. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, something changed. Not the world, him. He became stronger. He became sharper. He became unstoppable. Because persistence doesn't always change your situation immediately. Sometimes it changes you first. And that's how growth works. Most people quit too early. They stop right before the breakthrough. They walk away when they are closer than they realize. But resilience says, I'm not done yet. Persistence says, I'll try again. And success says, welcome back. I was waiting for you. If you're watching this right now, I want you to understand something. You were not meant to live an easy life. You were meant to live a meaningful one. And meaning requires struggle, because diamonds are created under pressure. Muscles grow through resistance, and your strongest self is built through adversity. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this powerful story and you want more motivational journeys like this, make sure you support the channel Englishshortandstories by hitting the like button and subscribing right now. It helps this message reach more people who need it, and it keeps you connected to more inspiring stories that can change your mindset. Now let's go deeper, because resilience is not about being fearless. It's about being afraid and still moving forward. Everyone feels fear. Everyone feels doubt. The difference is what you do next. Do you stop or do you persist? Life will test you. It will challenge you. It will try to convince you that you are not an oak. But persistence is your answer. Every time you get back up, you win. Even if nobody claps, even if nobody sees. Getting back up is victory, and the comeback always belongs to the one who refuses to stay down. David's journey wasn't perfect. He still had bad days. He still faced setbacks. But now he understood something important. Setbacks are not stop signs. They are lessons. And resilience means you learn and continue. One day, David finally got an opportunity. Not because life suddenly became fair, but because he became ready. And that's what persistence does. It prepares you for the moment you've been waiting for. He walked into that moment stronger than before. Not because he avoided failure, but because he survived it. And so will you. Because you are stronger than you think, you are built for more. And your story is not over. Not even close. David's life started changing, but not in the way people imagine. It wasn't like suddenly everything became perfect. It wasn't like the struggles disappeared overnight. The truth is, resilience doesn't. To remove pain, it teaches you how to carry it. And persistence doesn't mean you're never full. Persistence means you keep walking even while bleeding, because real growth is uncomfortable. Most people want success, but they don't want the process. They want the reward, but not the resistance. They want the victory, but not the battle. But life doesn't work that way. Your strongest version is not built in comfort. It is built in those moments where you feel like you have nothing left, and yet you take one more step. David learned this slowly. He learned that motivation comes and goes, but persistence stays. Motivation is a feeling. Persistence is a decision. Some mornings, David didn't want to get up. Some nights, he felt exhausted. Sometimes he questioned if it was even worth it, but the difference was, he kept going anyway. And that's the secret most people miss. Success is not about one big moment. Success is about small decisions made daily. It's choosing discipline over excuses. It's choosing growth over comfort. It's choosing the long road instead of the easy exit. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have been buried because someone quit too soon? How many futures have been destroyed because someone believed the pain would last forever? How many people gave up right before their breakthrough? Don't be one of them, because resilience means you don't stop when it hurts. You stop only when you're done, and you are not done. David remembered something his grandfather once told him. He said, "Life will hit you hard, son, but what matters is not how hard you get hit. It's how many times you get back up." At the time, David didn't fully understand, but now, those words became his foundation, because every setback was teaching him a lesson. Every failure was shaping him into someone stronger. Life wasn't punishing him. It was preparing him. That is what resilience does. It turns pain into power. It turns rejection into redirection. It turns struggle into strength and persistence. Persistence is what makes the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. One day, David met someone at a small coffee shop. It wasn't planned. It wasn't some magical movie moment. Just a normal conversation. The man asked David what he was working on. David hesitated. He almost downplayed his dreams, because deep inside, he was still afraid of failing again. But then he spoke honestly. He said, "I'm trying to build a better life. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to become something more." The man smiled and said something David never forgot. Most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they stop believing halfway through. That hit David like lightning. Because it was true. The world is full of talented people who quit. The world is full of gifted people who gave up. The world is full of potential that never became reality. Not because it couldn't, but because it wasn't pursued long enough. Persistence is the bridge between potential and achievement. Let that sink in. Your potential means nothing without persistence. Your dreams stay dreams without resilience. You don't become great by wishing. You become great by enduring. David started noticing something. The people who made it weren't always the smartest. They weren't always the richest. They weren't always the most lucky. But they were the most consistent. They kept showing up. They kept trying again. They kept pushing forward even when progress was slow. And that consistency created results. Y tal vez dos. Because resilience is not loud. It's quiet. It's waking up and trying again. It's applying again after rejection. It's starting again after failure. It's rebuilding after loss. It's believing again after disappointment. Resilience is the courage to restart. Now, listen. Maybe you're going through something right now. Maybe life knocked you down. Maybe you feel behind. Maybe you feel like you missed your chance. But I need you to understand. Your timing is not over. Your story is not finished. Your comeback is still possible. Because as long as you breathe, you can begin again. Do you know what persistence looks like? It looks like trying when nobody believes in you. It looks like working while others sleep. It looks like staying committed when you don't feel confident. It looks like fighting for a future you cannot see yet. That's what faith is. That's what resilience is. David's progress was slow, but it was real. And that's important. Because slow progress is still progress. Don't let the internet fool you into thinking success happens overnight. Overnight, success takes years. Behind every sudden breakthrough is a long season of persistence. Behind every strong person is a history of struggle. Behind every confident smile is a story of survival. David began to respect the process, even the painful parts, because he realized something powerful. The struggle is not in your way. The struggle is your way. It's the path. It's the training ground. It's the place where you become unbreakable. And the truth is, life is not about avoiding hardship. Life is about becoming strong enough to handle it. Resilience is what keeps you standing. Persistence is what keeps you moving. Together, they create unstoppable people. David finally reached a moment where he looked back and realized he was no longer the same person. The pain didn't defeat him. The failures didn't destroy him. The obstacles didn't stop him. They built him. And that is what will happen to you too. If you keep going, if you persist, if you refuse to quit. Because quitting is permanent, but struggle is temporary. Remember this, you may feel tired, but you are not finished. You may feel broken, but you are not beaten. You may feel delayed, but you are not denied. Keep going. One step. One day, one decision at a time. That's resilience. That's persistence. And that's how success is born. There is something life does that nobody prepares you for. It doesn't just test your strength, it tests your patience. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't failing. The hardest part is waiting. Waiting for things to get better. Waiting for results. Waiting for your effort to finally mean something. David faced that too. There were moments when he felt like he was doing everything right. And still nothing was changing. And that is where most people collapse. Not because they can't try, but because they can't endure. Because persistence is not just about effort. It's about endurance through silence, endurance through slow seasons, endurance through days when nothing feels rewarding. That's where champions are made. David understood something important. He realized life doesn't always give you what you want immediately. Sometimes life gives you delay so you can develop. so you can strengthen. Sometimes life gives you storms, so you can learn how to survive rain. Resilience is not built in the moment you win. It's built in the moment you want to quit, but don't. David started seeing setbacks differently. He stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and started asking, "What is this teaching me?" That shift changed everything. Because when you see pain as preparation, you stop running from it. You grow through it, and persistence becomes easier when your purpose is bigger than your feelings. Let me tell you something real. The world will always have reasons for you to stop. There will always be excuses. There will always be obstacles. There will always be people who doubt you. But resilience is saying, "I don't care how hard it gets. I'm still moving." Persistence is saying, "I don't care how long it takes. I'm still here." Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lose patience. They quit too early. They stop in chapter 3 and never reach chapter 10. Don't do that. Your life is not a short story. It's a long journey, and resilience is what carries you to the ending you deserve. David remembered the nights he cried alone, the nights he questioned himself, the days he felt invisible. But those moments didn't weaken him. They sharpened him. Because pain has two choices. It can break you, or it can build you. And resilience means you choose to be built. One day, David was walking home after another long shift. He was tired. His body hurt. His mind was heavy. And he saw something that stopped him. A young kid on a basketball court, practicing alone. No crowd. No coach. No applause. Just repetition. Again. And again. And again. David watched for a while. The kid missed shots, constantly, but he never stopped. He kept retrieving, the ball kept shooting, kept trying. And David thought, that's persistence. That's how greatness is created. Not in front of thousands, but in solitude. Not in glory, but in grind. That kid wasn't practicing because it was easy. He was practicing because he wanted something more. And David realized, so do I. So do you. Because resilience is for those who refuse average. Persistence is for those who crave growth. And the truth is, your dream will demand discomfort. Your future will require effort. Your breakthrough will require endurance. There is no other way. David began pushing even harder. Not from desperation, but from determination. He wasn't chasing perfection. He was chasing progress. And that's what you need to focus on too. Stop trying to be perfect. Just be persistent. Just improve. Just keep moving. Even if the steps are small, even if the progress is slow, because slow growth is still growth. Let me remind you, a river cuts through rock not because of power, but because of persistence. That's you. That's what you are becoming. Life will not always feel fair, but resilience doesn't need fairness. Resilience needs focus. Persistence needs commitment. David learned to stop comparing himself to others, because comparison kills persistence. You don't know what others went through. You don't know what battles they fought. You don't know what they sacrificed. Your only job is to keep going in your lane, your pace, your journey. And one day, you will look back amazed at how far you came. Because resilience doesn't show instantly. It shows over time like a muscle. Each struggle is a rep. Each setback is a weight. Each time you get back up, you become stronger. David was no longer afraid of hard days. He didn't enjoy them, but he respected them. Because hard days created strong men. Hard days built strong minds. Hard days shaped unbreakable souls. And resilience means you don't pray for an easier life. You build a stronger self. Persistence means you don't wait for motivation. You move with discipline. And eventually, you become unstoppable. David's breakthrough didn't arrive like fireworks. It arrived like sunrise. Slow, quiet, natural. One day he realized, I'm not who I used to be. I don't quit anymore. I don't collapse anymore. I don't run anymore. I rise. That's resilience. That's persistence. And that is what is waiting for you. If you keep going. If you refuse to stop, because the only way you truly fail is if you keep. So hold on. Stay strong. Keep walking. Your future self is watching and thanking you for not giving up. David reached a point in his life where he finally understood something most people never realize. Strength isn't something you are born with. Strength is something you earn. Every time life knocks you down and you choose to rise, you earn it. Every time you feel tired but keep moving, you earn it. Every time quitting seems easier but you persist, you earn Italiano. Resilience is not a personality trait. It's a decision made over and over again. And persistence is not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about continuing. Because the truth is, nobody makes it through life without scars. Everyone gets tested. Everyone gets broken at some point, but the people who become extraordinary are the ones who refuse to stay broken. David realized that his setbacks were not the end of his story. They were the beginning of his strength. All those failures that once felt like proof that he wasn't enough were actually proof that he was becoming more. Each obstacle was shaping him. Each painful moment was training him. And that's why he stopped asking for an easier road and started appreciating the hard one. Because the hard road creates leaders. The hard road creates warriors. The hard road creates people who cannot be stopped. David began looking at his life with new eyes. He saw that resilience is not about never feeling pain. It's about not letting pain control you. He saw that persistence is not about winning every day. It's about refusing to lose yourself on the bad days. That's what makes someone unstoppable. Not talent, not luck, not perfect timing, but persistence. Imagine this. 1,000 people start a journey. Most of them quit in the first mile. A few make it halfway. Only a small number reach the finish. Not because they were better, but because they stayed, they endured, they persisted. That can be you, if you choose it, because life rewards the one who doesn't stop. The world doesn't remember those who tried once. The world remembers those who kept going. David's life didn't become perfect, but his mindset became powerful. And that changed everything. He no longer feared failure, because he knew failure was not final. He no longer feared struggle, because he knew struggle was temporary. He no longer feared setbacks, because he knew setbacks were lessons. Resilience gave him peace. Persistence gave him purpose. And together, they gave him a future. Now let me speak directly to you, the one listening right now. If life is heavy, hold on. If the road is hard, keep walking. If you feel behind, keep going. Because the fact that you are still trying means you are stronger than most. And I know it's not easy. Some days you wake up and feel like nothing is changing. Some days you feel like your effort is invisible. Some days you feel like you're running out of hope. But listen, the darkest nights produce the brightest mornings. The hardest chapters create the strongest characters, and your breakthrough may be closer than you think. Most miracles happen one step after the moment people quit. So don't quit. Your future needs you. Your dream needs you. The best version of you is waiting on the other side of persistence. David once thought his failures were proof that he was done. Now he knows they were proof that he was being built. And the same is true for you. You are being built right now. Even in the struggle, even in the silence, even in the storm. Resilience is being formed in you. Persistence is being trained in you. And one day, you will look back and realize this was the season that made you. So keep going and keep fighting. Keep believing. Because you are not finished. You are not defeated. You are not done. Your comeback is still loading, and it will be powerful. And before you leave, I want to ask you something. If this story inspired you, even a little, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs strength today, and I would love to hear from you. What are you currently fighting through in your life? Drop a comment below because your words might inspire someone else to keep going too. And remember, you are part of this family here on Englishshortandstories, where we turn pain into power and setbacks into comebacks. So keep standing, keep persisting, and never forget, the only real failure is giving up.